This is my sorry. I am running late today. Um, Today is Wednesday, December 29th. Is 9:25 Eastern or 22 Eastern, and I am running late. Just about 10 minutes ago, left the house. Um, Had a past contractor contacted me from a previous company asking for certain income proof documents, which is going to be challenging to produce since company partially been sold and partially been closed. So I'll figure it out. But I want to ask you guys a question, and then I'll explain from my point of view based on myself. So the first question that I actually have to you guys is this: can the person that you come up to and try to talk to them, and their response is no English, no English, can that person actually be left alone to prepare a burrito? Or prepare an order that comes through DOORDASH or Uber Eats platform? See, before I already did the recording, you guys can go ahead and watch it. It was probably about 2 o'clock yesterday, where I did a kind of like an emergency video. But I want to actually share my personal opinion. Sometimes I look at these receipts, this reports. I don't even report. How do you sell? What customer ordered, and I look myself, and I'm like, what is that? And I went to school for 30 years. I'm sorry, and I've been here in America for 30 years. Went to school, but I have a hard time sometimes. Would I do it a good job preparing the food? Let's say for Chipotle, I probably would. Would I be an effective employee making the food fast enough? That is still a challenge question to be asked, because I would have to learn every single options of ingredients. What are the names of ingredients? And hopefully then, eventually I will reach this level of speed. Now, let's talk about my parents. My parents been in the United States for 30 years. They still do not speak English good. They try. But if you put my mom on a production line which she cooked all her life at Chipotle, she would have no clue what a difference between a bowl and a burrito, unless I would explain that to her. So, it's just, the question is, can actually people that say no English, can they actually prepare our food? Yesterday's situation was for me a weird one. If a person having a hard time bagging food that she prepared by herself, because she's not convinced that she's putting the right stuff in the bag, she's taking her 10 minutes to actually just pack it up, so she can actually put a sticker on it of the customer and put it on a shelf and move on to the next order. Can that kind of a person actually be even allowed on a service line? My personal opinion, in the past, as I've seen, no speaking, usually, janitors cleaning floors, wiping tables, maybe helping out for a cook, and repeatedly doing the same kind of, one item, constantly prepping or something. And eventually they learn the process and they repeatedly do that process. But putting somebody that has to read, We want cheese on that. We want the lettuce on that. We want the mild. And this is going to be a quesadilla. I understand she was Hispanic, and Chipotle is a somewhat Mexican, considered to be restaurant. But I looked at her and I watched her pain, and nobody in management didn't even care how she painfully were doing it and couldn't get it right. I eventually gave up, and I actually, went and just stayed with the rest of the drivers. But when I received my order, I felt that there's something wrong with the order. But we're not allowed to open those orders, right? When I arrived to a customer, and after I completed the procedure of delivery, I rang the doorbell, stepped away, 6 feet. I usually like to give, 8-10 feet distance just for the customer to feel comfortable, especially those that say, leave it by the door. And then I asked, hey, I want you to understand something. The person that prepared this meal is a non-English speaking person, and I don't feel comfortable about this delivery. Can you please open and verify that order? The guy opens the bag, and then he looks at the bag from the outside and says, yeah, the receipt outside says my name, but inside it says Angela. Can you guys tell me how badly no English you have to be to put an Angela inside the bag and put another person's name outside of the bag? See, my question is, if it's that hard that she couldn't even match the names of the client, can she actually match the names of the ingredients when she preps that food? Come on, guys, talk with me. Give me a comment. I'm going to check if you guys. But I want to see, what is your guys' opinion on this? There's no comments here. So, because, I want to know, what do you guys think? Is it possible for these restaurants to continue to exist if now... Hey, how's it going? And I appreciate you guys' agreement. Yeah, and I think we're because restaurants are having a hard time getting people to speak English, they're going to start hiring these non-speaking. And with non-speaking, almost every of our delivery orders is going to become an issue. And with DoorDash having a satisfaction guarantee, she is there because most people are lazy. Yes. And because now DoorDash and Uber Eats has a satisfaction guarantee, there'll be more money coming out of the DoorDash and Uber. Most large companies have what's called a SOP, or print and point the kitchen, that are receiving my order. They forgot. Yes, and I agree with you. They forgot about you. At McDonald's yesterday, and I never received an order. They forgot about me. Hey, you're right. There's glitches. The first thing I walked into Chipotle and that I noticed, and I'll be honest, and I walked into the restaurant, and there's like 5 or 6 receipts behind the printer. Pedro was looking. So there was like 5 or 6 receipts behind the printer, and a store manager, was actually at the checkout monitor, or the cashier table. So I grab these receipts, I look at, and there's deliveries, and I say, are these forgotten or they're lost? And she grabs it out of my hands, looks at them, and takes it to that lady. And that was like 3 or 4 receipts in my hand just right there. So guys, if they forgot about you, it's probably because the receipt fell behind and they haven't noticed. Like, that's the first thing. That's what kind of put me on alert, that there's something wrong in this restaurant when delivery order receipts are behind the printer. Otherwise, I probably would have sat there and ignored anything and just waited and never even would have paid attention to what actually happening in the kitchen. But, let's get back to, the topic. So, because of lack of people who want to work, we're having wrong people put in the kitchen, which can lead us to delivering wrong food, which will lead to DoorDash and Uber Eats refunding more money to customers and eventually get to a point where they're going to say, you know what, this is done. That's one scenario. Scenario number 2, and that's where I'm saying that, these businesses they have a business model, but that business model is for the future, when machines start prepping our food, when machines start delivering the food. Not right now. Right now is not the timing. Now, but again, at the same time, a lot of these franchise businesses, adopted that model and considered to be the best model for their business, like Chipotle. You're no longer able to get hold of the store. You're automatically being routed to their AI, and then eventually that AI will reroute you to the corporate office. I tried calling and I tried to file a complaint with the manager. I couldn't even get hold of it. I gotta get hold of the corporate. I filed a complaint with the corporate office on this situation. Or option 2, these restaurants really need to go to Japan and buy some of these robots that can actually prep food on behalf of the human and solve this wrong ingredients, wrong food being given to us to deliver. I don't see any other way how this is going to play out, because I'm not seeing people volunteer and say, hey, I'm willing to work for $10 an hour, or 12, or even some places that actually pay 15. They'd rather come to channels like me or Paige or the San Diego and learn how to make $20+ an hour and drive. But at the same time, am I doing anything good for myself if I took a $22 delivery yesterday, delivered to a client, I drew 20 miles each way, and when on my way back, I realized that Uber Eats paid me $14, then took that $14 back and only paid me $2.50. So I drew for $20 for $2.50, of 20 miles one way for $2.50, plus spend a half hour at the restaurant waiting. It doesn't give me justice. I got so pissed that I actually left home. I couldn't see how to actually continue and dash yesterday, even though I set myself up to dash without a break for the rest of the day. This morning, Eats, in addition to the $2.50, they paid me a full amount of the $22 that they originally promised. So, what exactly? Customer probably called in, complained, because I also called in and explained what actually happened at the restaurant with no English. Prep the food that I had to deliver, but I guess then I have no clue what happened afterwards. That this morning the money is there. Are they going to take it away again? I have no clue. But are we ready for this? We as drivers, are we ready? Because you guys do know I'm planning on launching an app, and I'll figure out a way how to actually make that happen, no matter what kind of obstacles I'm running into. But I'm starting asking myself a question. Do I want to have restaurants on my platform that no English is prepping the order of a client of theirs, and drivers that I want gonna be standing behind and support will actually deliver, and then the customer look at it and say, that's not mine. And then the driver gonna have to pick up a phone and call the restaurant and say, hey guys, you gave me the wrong food. And restaurant say, oh, no problem, we'll remake it. So the driver goes back right now to the restaurant, hoping the restaurant will compensate him for his extra work. Does the restaurant compensate or not? Let's say they do, even though who knows what. But then they go out, deliver, and the customer 3 minutes later gets a call again, to the driver and says, hey, I ordered this mild, why it's so spicy? See, I can build an app. I can provide the tools to the restaurant, and I have no problem doing that. I can do everything for the restaurant to succeed, customers to succeed, the drivers to succeed. But there's one thing I will not be able to control, is what restaurants will do, how they will proceed. And secondly, look around your town. There's more restaurants than gas station and any other type of a business in town. I think it's also becoming a time where some of these places will need to close due to the lack of employees. And then those employees that are willing to work will actually go and work to other restaurants that actually can survive. And at the end of the day, it will have to rebalance itself. And I'm hoping it's going to rebalance, because otherwise, I'm not sure how this can actually proceed. I would like to actually hear from you guys as you guys out deliver. Pay attention to who's prepping your food, especially in those places that you can see. Because, if you have a little bit of operational knowledge, it's very obvious, when somebody's prepping and they don't feel comfortable in the position they're in. They're not sure they have done the right job. Compared to somebody that actually, they've been there for a while, they know what they're doing, and they're comfortable. You kind of watch. You're probably going to start noticing, especially if you, have some relation with the customer, like, I did, I spoke with a customer yesterday. You might actually find out how good they did or how bad they did the job. Sometime, a couple months back, I walked into a Burger King, and I noticed that employee probably there for the first hour or two working. She grabbed it and looked at it, put it in the bag, pulled it out of the bag, put it back in the bag, pulled it out, exchanged it, put it back in another sandwich in the bag. So I'm seeing this employee has no clue what they're doing, and they're not comfortable with what they're doing. So after that meal was prepared and bagged and sealed, and another guy is given to me, and I say, hey, can I have you actually verify that this order has been prepared? The guy grabs the bag, throws it in the ground. Oh, we'll prepare you another one. I unassigned and left. Because that's not how you treat a driver that's expecting there might be a problem with the delivery. I understand his frustration. I don't know, was he a manager or whoever he was? I understand his frustration that he does not have competent employees, but when somebody asks them to verify, it would take him about 10, 20 seconds. Instead of prepping the whole order again. So guys, when you guys are out there, watch if you can, those that prepare your food. You're probably going to notice some things. Hey, go out and share. Comment in Pager and other places. Comment. Drivers need to start being aware what's happening. And if we can prevent something, then we need to prevent it. Like in my situation yesterday, other than knowing this is no speaking employee, I'm not sure if I could have prevented a wrong food being put inside a bag with the wrong customer name. I'm not sure if I could. So yeah, guys, probably why would I pay the close attention? Probably could. Another tip for those of you guys that are driving out there, I noticed one of the drivers, when he came in and the order was not there, he automatically got in the line with the customers and ordered that meal off of his phone, whatever supposed to be in the meal. And when he got to a checkout point, he says, "This order is for DoorDash," and provided customer name. They literally had no choice but to go print off a label for him, and he went on his delivery. He didn't even bother waiting, because there was a bunch of us. He didn't bother waiting on that order to be automatically prepared for delivery. So that might be an idea to maybe try out, because I guess this driver had done it more than once, so he automatically just went for it. But I kind of watched, and it's interesting how some drivers solving this weight problems. And we can always, like at Spatla, because their line is separated, so we can go always as a customer and order that on behalf of the customer, and just tell them, "Hey guys, this is for this customer, it's already paid." So, yeah, spread the word. So, we need to start watching, because at this point, we're no longer delivery drivers. Right now, we're also drivers with monitoring food preparers, what they put in the bag. Am I happy for that? That's who we are? No, I'm not. But if we want to actually have good ratings, have our customers be happy with us and satisfied, I guess that's probably what we'll have to do. And not sure how else I can actually say this, but all this is just going down. And in some cases, I'm not sure there's a way to save a solution other than some of these restaurants to close and then see who will survive out of this, who will actually get robotic systems in replacement for their food preparers, and see if this apps like DoorDash, Uber Eats, and some of the new ones that are opening up, can they survive continuing having 100% satisfaction guarantee? Because this is what's killing them, and this is what's going to kill them. Because things are not getting better, they're just getting worse. I think I spoke long enough. So guys, be blessed and go out, make some money. And if you guys run into a situation, see how you can salvage that situation that will benefit you the most, and move on. And if the situation is bad enough, like in my case, where I had to just kind of said, "I'm done for today. I don't care that I had to drive 50 miles to Dash. I'm just going home." And make the best out of the worst of situations, and go out, make that money for your family, for yourself, and make a difference around you. Be blessed again.